I had an experience last year,
Yeah.
uh, meditating or contemplating as I did for a long time,
Yeah.
off and on. And the what made me uh, feel I had to talk to you was because you were talking about a nothing. Because many years ago, about 30 years ago, I was working with some paranormal people because I had this hearing. And in that period, one time, I got the sentence, in this world, I am a nothing. When you look for nothing, that's where you will find
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
the meditation. I think I fulfilled the the being nothing, the looking at nothing. I came back and it was a rational kind of contemplation in which I left everything that became, well, all looked like an object or I could perceive. So that proceeded. And then at a certain stage, I perceived the sense of being me as an I,
Yeah.
and I let it go and it lay down. I have not done since. I don't know what happened, but it lay down. Then I became this eye of attention, uh, experiencing, seeing a void, only nothing. I didn't like it too much.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like the void, uh, but that's another thing. I can explain why later. But what I did, I closed the eye of attention, and I was not attention anymore, and I was just myself. I think I understand what being yourself really means.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was very blissful, it was overflowing, it was so much energy. I think I only have the impressions of the actual thing because before I knew it, I was kicked back.
Yeah.
And I found myself in the state of the man I am
Yeah.
with a story.
Yeah. That's okay. That's part of it. Like the humanity has been awakening for so many thousands of years. If you look at it in the timeline, like what happens is there's brief glimpses of it, and then for a period, the body kind of pulsates in and out of that. Like Tony Parsons, a speaker, he used to say, or he still says, you know, if they gave you freedom all at one time, so you just got it all in one go, it would just be
Mhm.
too much. He implies that it would kill the body because it would be too much from being a contracted energy to just being this boundless energy.
Okay, so then what made the choice to get out of it? Because I had the experience of not being an I.
Yeah,
I was a being,
yeah.
uh, but not
It wasn't.
calling
It
itself
wasn't.
I. It was fulfilled in
Yeah.
itself.
It
What?
wasn't your choice to get out of it. It just kind of happened like that. So it appeared as if it was your choice. It appeared as if the you was investigating the nature of reality and who you truly were. And it
Well,
appeared like you went through a process in time. But that person that you believe yourself to be is never who you truly are. That's an appearance happening inside the dream. And who you truly are is a boundless knowing, this infinite knowing that's never a thing, this true self. So it appears as if you're waking up, but then eventually you begin to see so clearly that there has never been a person there that could wake up. Because who are you in this moment now looking at me? Who is looking at me? Who's experiencing this?
I would say I.
Yeah, and what does that I
There's no
consist of?
the other because the other thing that is there has no answer. That cannot answer.
Yeah, no, it cannot answer.
It
So,
cannot
so
answer.
in one way, you could say you could answer that Rene is experiencing, but then ultimately, it's Rene is being experienced as well. But in this moment, what does it feel like is experiencing? When you say I, what does that feel like?
Whew, what does it feel like?
To be you looking at me. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Yeah.
It's such a funny experience, isn't it? When you begin to think, like, what is it that's experiencing this now? And to try and describe who that person is that's experiencing is such a weird thing.
Well, as ego, I never understood really who I am because of my development and early childhood. So to be in touch with that I was always a problem for me, and that maybe cause the question you ask me now are somewhat difficult.
Yeah. But that most probably made you more able to hear this subject.
Yeah, but who do you think was experiencing after the laying down of the ego, it lie down, and then the eye that has attention for the void it closed, and then it became something else. And what was that?
Say that again, sorry.
Uh, After I did this laying down of ego and the self of I-ness,
Yeah.
which is now very active. It wasn't active.
Yeah.
There was a being. It was blissful. It was fulfilled. It was all right.
Yeah.
And who was that?
That's who you truly are. And that's in the
Huh.
background now, but it's just covered by the illusory you. That's actually what sees my face now and what hears. But it's
Yeah.
just, that beingness is sucked into the body. It's like it's been put into a small space. Ultimately, it hasn't, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all you
Yeah.
feel like is being the person.
But this had a profound effect on me.
Yeah, I'm
As
sure it
I
did. That's awakening. That's awakening. Once that's happened, it's a stream entrance. There's no way back.
I thought it was the end of a process, but it seems to be only the beginning.
We're always at the beginning.
At the end. Okay.
We never get to the end. Ends our fantasy. Doesn't exist.
So what I did
Yeah.
when I found out there is no good and bad, there is no religion is. I hope not. And does the whole world hear this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, then I won't speak
Yeah.
against religion.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
They
Yeah.
can't see you, but they can hear you. So
Okay.
if you're going to say this, just
No, but this
that's sweet that you
and,
stop yourself.
and after the experience, I also said I came with the term before I ever hearing you of this. At the end. This is a story,
Yeah. 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 That's
but then I kind of tried to, with the distance from myself from that experience, looked at the man I was and asked him, what does he want? What does he want really?
yeah.
And I have had a lot of therapy and things suppressing certain aspects of me.
Yeah.
And the guy here, he chose to be as he wants. From his upbringing, always directed at what others want, what others need,
Yeah.
and I let go. So I made it, what you might say, rather egotistical decision. And my favorite drug was amphetamine, and I chose to go back to amphetamine. That's what the guy wanted to do. He wanted to have this experience, or to live out the things that he always had to keep down due to
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm doing that now.
And you do that now.
No,
Even now, at this moment when we're talking,
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
exactly what an amphetamine is. I'm sorry,
Um,
I've never taken that. I've taken certain drugs, but never amphetamine.
well, actually, it's after 6 years they gave me diagnosis ADD,
Oh yeah,
uh, which means certain parts of your brain aren't properly aligned and active at the right time.
yeah.
So this stimulant, amphetamine, makes the brain more active.
Huh.
That's what it basically does. That's why I think I was able to concentrate as well as I did during this time of contemplation. But that was medical dose. I've stepped off medical dose and increased the dose, so I can live out what I want to live out. There's something inside me that I thought was dangerous in the past. I don't think it is. Everybody has a dark side, but if you treat it well, if you
How
approach
many,
it,
and how many years have you been doing that?
what, those drugs,
Yeah.
off and on. Not constant, but off and on. Periods of years not, then every month, every 3 months.
Yeah.
But latest, uh, I decided to take it on a daily basis. And thinking, I remember being not this body, being not really this man, that if he would start, he would go and suffer, then I think it'd be good for him. Because then he may be able to let go of all the shit.
Yeah.
Because in some things I'm hanging.
Yeah.
Some things I can let go, but some things are deep or there's a problem and
Yeah.
I can't let go.
Yeah.
I understand.
Have you ever
Huh?
heard of the book Waking the Tiger? Somebody recommended it. Somebody recommended it on one of my live streams a few months ago, or maybe like 6 months ago.
I'm not a great reader.
It's a really beautiful book. Do you know, I got it on Audible, which is Amazon. I got it free on Audible, which is the audio service of Amazon. If you sign up, then you get a free book every month. So every month I download a new book, and then when I'm doing my long travels, I do a lot of driving around Europe.
Okay.
I listen to one, and I've been listening to it on and off now for a few months, and it's such a beautiful book. It's called Waking the Tiger. And
I'll
it's
write it
about
down.
this, when you get really, like, there's some things that just can't be let go in your heart, that your heart keeps holding on to, and why we keep repeating things. It's called Waking the Tiger. And you can just sit down, or you can just relax and lay on your sofa. I saw you had a cat with your cat, and
My cat's here, my dog's.
I
No, my
can see your dogs.
My dog is in the back.
Hey, I can see your
You
dog
see
on
him?
the sofa, yeah. I saw your cat
Good.
walking past.
Yeah, you see a lot of rubbish. That's not like.
Yeah.
That's very, very, very nice dog.
And
Very
then
sweet.
you can listen to this, and it is particularly about that, because I'm sure the amphetamines are damaging your health, but at the same time, you know, that's something you've got to do, and you've got to experience at the moment. But this book, you might find, can really work on those things that the body is still really holding on to, and it's very physical. This book, about the physicality of holding on to past traumas.
Yeah,
So
yeah, okay. I don't know if I'm holding on to traumas and in what way it works.
yeah,
But whatever happened, it made uh, sexuality so, well, I can say obsessive,
yeah,
so conflicted, so fucked up.
yeah.
Uh, so that should give me every reason to let go, but it doesn't.
This book might really help you, I think. I would.
Waking the
Waking the
Waking the
Tiger is
tiger.
a great title. Yeah. Very nice.
I
Oh, well,
know
very
that.
nice to speak with you, Renee. Thank you for calling in and being so honest and open and sharing your heart. Beautiful.
Thank you for being there.
Oh, with pleasure. And lots of love to your animals. Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
Okay. So for anyone else, I would recommend this book as well. It's so beautiful. It talks about the physicality that happens when we're traumatized by something, and everybody has traumas, including the Lisa body mind mechanism. It's something that we can always have the possibility of picking up, and it talks about how important it is to actually experience the trauma rather than to reject it in any way. And it suggests that the reason that the traumas get stuck in our body is because we resist the natural process of letting it go, because we feel ashamed of being scared, or we feel ashamed of the the feelings or the emotions or the anger that comes with it. So we deny it, and it doesn't actually get to process through our body. And it talks about, obviously, what I love is animals and how animals let go of trauma. And obviously, being with Khaleesi, it's something that I watch all the time because she's not had the easiest of life. She started off as a street dog in Thailand, and in certain ways she's had a really easy life, but she's also been scared by things. You know, when I brought her back to the UK, she had to spend 3 days travelling on aeroplanes and going to kennels, and she wasn't allowed to travel with me. She had to travel alone, and then she had to spend 2 weeks in a dog home. And then when she lived on the streets, I saw her getting hit a few times by a spade and by brooms and attacked by other dogs. So she has these traumas in her, but she always has a routine that happens when she comes across something that scares her. She has a routine that she does with her body, and like one of them is shaking, like she shakes or she yawns or she just shakes, like vibrate shakes, and then she stretches. So there's always this routine that the body goes through, whereas as humans, we try to suppress that natural response to something. So say if it's fear, we try to repress shaking because we're embarrassed and ashamed of this, or if we're angry, if something's happened and anger comes out, we think this isn't socially acceptable. So we repress that anger and we hold it in the body. And each time we do that, he suggests, which I think is really beautiful, when we hold on to the traumas, they kind of keep repeating themselves. So we keep attracting that situation because our body is naturally wanting to release that distress. So say if you have fear of something, we keep repeating that fear until our body can actually let go of that trauma. Really nice book. I mean, I'm sure like the first 10 chapters or so could be skipped. It takes a while for him to really begin to get into the nitty-gritty of it. I always find that with books. Okay.